to today's episode of the Big Donch Show. Today we'll be going over the NBA play-in tournament so far, the announcement of Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, the Phillies' rough start to the season, but Bryson Stott is playing good, and a whole lot more. Just a reminder to like the Big Donch Show on Spotify and to subscribe to my YouTube, Big Donch. Let's get right into it, guys. Well, always covering it, starting off with NFL. Not much going on in the NFL world lately. We're seeing, the Commanders actually just got sold, but I don't really care about the Washington Commanders. Seems like nobody really does. But either way, they got sold. Don't know really how much that's going to change. I know the Washington Commanders are one of the worst organizations in the NFL and in sports history in general. But that's all I really have for the NFL as of now. Basketball. We, of course, see in the NBA, the play-in tournament. We saw over the past couple of days, we saw the Lakers defeat the Timberwolves 108-102. The Hawks defeating the Miami Heat 116-105. Then the following day on Wednesday, April 2nd. And mind me, I have some pretty bad allergies. It's that time of year. Even though it's beautiful out, it's like 85 degrees outside right now. Not used to this in April. Allergies are absolutely killing my nose. Bulls, which was a very good game. Bulls versus the Raptors. The Bulls defeated the Raptors 109-105. Wasn't happy with that shooting foul on Pascal Siakam at the end. I thought it was on the ground. They gave him the three free throw line shots. Either way, Bulls still pulled away with it. Thunder defeating the Pelicans 123-118. That brings up the question, though, of Zion Williamson. He was basically saying that he was healthy. He was okay to go. He just didn't really feel like it mentally. That's sort of a selfish move to pull on a must-win game, backing out onto your teammates like that. And I think that was just a terrible excuse. And I'm curious to see, what the Pelicans are going to do with Zion in the future. They're probably going to stick with him because he's a draw. And when he is healthy, he is the best player on the team. Though Brandon Ingram is playing very good lately, I still think that, of course, Zion is the best healthy. However, back out like that, you let your team down. It's unfortunate. He's saying he was healthy, but he didn't want to play because he wasn't feeling mentally. Selfish move. Tonight, Friday, April 14th, we have the Bulls facing the Heat in Miami, then Thunder facing the Timberwolves in Minnesota. My projections for this, I'm going to go Bulls and the Thunder winning this. That's right. The Thunder beating the Timberwolves, and they'll be going on to the playoffs. Saturday, tomorrow, that starts the real playoff games. Once again, excuse my allergies. Going to be needing a lot of tissues. Been needing a lot of tissues in general. Over the past couple of days. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Nets facing my 76ers. I think this will be 76ers series. They'll end up pulling away with that. Hawks and Celtics. I think the Celtics will pull away with that. Knicks and Cavaliers. This one could be a close one. We really don't know. I don't know. I'm going to go with the Knicks. For some reason. And the Warriors and Kings. It's the Warriors. It's Steph Curry. It's Klay Thompson. It's Draymond Green. It's Steve Kerr. It's the Warriors. We know how they are. I want to root for the Kings. Okay, I'm rooting for the Kings. Obviously, I haven't been in the playoffs forever. I'm rooting for the Kings. But I just feel like, it's the Golden State Warriors. They're going to do exactly what they've been known to do, and that's win. So, I don't know. I'm going to root for the Kings. I think the Warriors will pull away with it. Sunday, April 16th now. Second set of playoff games. My computer's running a bit slow for some reason. I don't know why. I guess because, I have a bunch of tabs open along with recording on Zoom. We have the Lakers and Grizzlies to be determined versus the Bucks. Oh, yeah. My predictions for that. I don't know. Once again, the Lakers, it's LeBron, it's Anthony Davis. When he's healthy, of course, he plays very good. It's the Lakers and the Grizzlies. They look good, but this game could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers won this one. To be determined versus the Bucks, Clippers and Suns. We're going to see KD, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. And then the Clippers, we're going to see somebody was down on the Clippers. I think it might have been Paul George. He might not play. But we see Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George to be determined versus the Nuggets. The Nuggets, I'm rooting for Jokic, but I just don't feel like they have the depth. They had a good regular season record, but I don't know if they had the depth to be going through the playoffs like that. So I really don't know. That's really all for the NBA plan. See if I have any other notes I want to cover for today. No, just focusing on, Zion not playing against the Thunder in a must-win game. So, I don't know. I know fans aren't too happy with them. I'm sure the teammates aren't too happy with them. Moving on to MLB baseball, though. Phillies off to a terrible, terrible start. Not terrible. I got to stop gassing it up. I guess I just, always get bummed out. They're 4-9 right now. Fourth in the NL East. They just lost to the Reds yesterday, 6-2. They started the last series against the Marlins, beating them 15-3, then lose the next two games. Doesn't make sense. They beat the Reds in the former series, the one before that, and they lost to the Yankees, and they got swept by the Rangers to start the season. So it's pretty hard right now. Obviously, we're dealing with injuries. Not no Bryce Harper, no Reese Hoskins, no Derek Hall. We're moving players around. We were trying to figure out who's at first. If everybody knows the joke, who's at first, what's on second. But yeah, Bryce Harper apparently he's going to be trying out for first base. Well, not trying out. We all know he'll be good at first base, but I don't know. I don't really want to try. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a professional. Excuse me. I'm not a medical professional. I can't say if they're rushing them or not. Obviously, you got to trust the doctors, but I mean, if anything, wouldn't you just want to wait for him to hit? I mean, if he had Tommy John surgery, why would you put him in a position where you have to throw? Now, obviously, first base, you don't have to throw as much compared to other positions, but like, why even put him out there? Why not just keep him out until he's healthy, at least bat? I really don't understand that logic. We're gonna see though. Obviously, once again, I'm not a professional manager. I'm not a professional coach, medical professional. It's just what I think. I don't know. I'd rather just wait for him to get healthy, just to bat, and don't even have him play the field at all. Obviously, though, we are desperate at first base. I'm fine with though Sosa at third and Bohm at first for the rest of the year. I mean, it's just fielding. Obviously, batting is more important, and third base and first base are probably I wouldn't say the least important because obviously first base that's where all the action's getting thrown to. But all you gotta do is step on the bag and catch. Reese Hoskins, however, wasn't the best fielder at first base, so who knows? Third base though, I'm fine with Sosa. I mean, he's an MLB baseball player. He should be all right. Obviously, not as good as Bohm, but what can you do? Injuries happen. I would not rush. Sorry, my allergies are absolutely terrible. The show goes on. The show has to still go on. Um, Going on though with the MLB, the Tampa Bay Rays, they're sitting at 13-0. I think they're tied right now for the best start, or they have a chance to tie it with the Atlanta Braves, who had a great start in the 1900s, 1980s, 1990s. But they're at 13-0 right now. They're undefeated. So honestly surprising. Of course, you know how sports fans are. Teams start the season off undefeated. I know as a Steelers fan in 2020 when we started off 11-0, everybody hated us. Eagles last year, everybody hated the Eagles when they started off undefeated. Fans hate to see teams winning. It's just how it is. And especially the Rays. The Rays aren't no popular powerhouse. Like, they're the Rays. It's not like the Dodgers or Yankees or the Giants or the Mets. They're the ones who are starting off undefeated 13-0. So I can understand the hate there because it's just bad. The teams that we're just so annoyed of. No, it's the Tampa Bay Rays. Anyway, looking at the leaders for the MLB right now, batting average. We have Luis Reyes batting 500. Chapman, 489. Vlad Guerrero Jr., 412. He's unbelievable. Here's a guy I want to focus on, though. Bryson Stott batting 400. Okay, second baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies. He has a hit in every game so far. He's playing today against the Cincinnati Reds, of course. Hopefully, it doesn't jinx anything, but he has a hit in every game so far. He's playing like an all-star right now. 22 hits total of the season, 4 doubles, 3 runs scored, 4 RBIs, 14 strikeouts, 0 home runs. Okay, on-base percentage is 411, slugging percentage 473, OPS 884. Okay, 56 plate appearances, 55 at-bats, 3 stolen bases. He's playing like an all-star right now. He's playing like an all-star, moving out from shortstop after Trey Turner came in. Speaking of Trey Turner, he's also in there right now. He's leading with hits. He has 18 hits, batting 316. He started the season off pretty good. Him and Bryson Stott were tied with the streak, but that ended it. Okay, he went 0 for 5 against the Marlins April 11. So either way, I'm still happy with Trey Turner. I was having him as my MVP for this year. Obviously, anything could change, but Bryson Stott, though, playing like an all-star. Absolutely playing like an all-star. Home run leaders, Pete Alonso at 6, Mountcastle at 6, Reynolds for the Pirates. And the Pirates, they are playing good. Let's take a look at their record. They're sitting at 8-5 right now. Not too great, but for the Pirates, that's really good. So hopefully they don't try to trade Brian Reynolds. There's no reason for the Pirates to always trade people. Roberts Jr. at 5 home runs. Rafael Devers at 5 home runs. Runs batted in. Mountcastle, 19. Alvarez, 16. Arozarena, 16. Chapman, 15. Duvall, 14. Runs scored. Jimenez, 14. India, 13. You know what's weird, Jonathan India? When I realize when I get MLB The Show, which I don't get every year, I get maybe every 2-3 years. I do Diamond Dynasty, of course. If you want to check out my Diamond Dynasty video, make sure to check that out. I posted that last week, I think it was on Tuesday. I aim to post more. But every time I get MLB The Show, obviously you get low Diamond Dynasty players start off, and they're usually guys I never heard of. Like I never heard of Jonathan Indy before, but guess what? I'm starting to hear him a lot more now in baseball. I'm hearing him on the radio. I'm hearing him on TV. I'm hearing him in the stat leaders now. Right here, he's currently where is he? He's currently second in runs scored, 13 runs scored. So of course, I get guys I never. It happens with Ultimate Team too. I get guys on my team I never heard of. They're low overalls, and then I'm starting to hear them more in actual NFL. I guess because I'm obviously going to focus it more on the name because I seen it. So either way, stolen bases: Mateo 7, Mullen 6, Straw 6, Acuna Jr. 6, and Anderson 5. Earned run average. I have look at Drew Rasmussen. He has 2 games played, an ERA of 0. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Otani, 0.47. He's unbelievable. Gray, 0.53. Springs, 0.56. De Scalfani, 0.73. Strikeouts: Spencer Strider, 27. Jake DeGrom, 27. Lodolo, 27. Lopez, 26. Ryan, 26. Wins: McClanahan, 3. Urias, 3. Gibson, 3. Cole, 3. Miguel, 3. Saves: Bednar, 4. Romano, 4. Hader, 4. Holmes, 4. Batista, 3. So that's the stat leaders for the NBA. I'm sorry, MLB so far. So let's move over to fighting right now. Once again, apologize for the allergies. It is terrible right now. It's all the pollen. It's just embarrassing with the pollen. NHL. I'm sorry, fighting. We're gonna actually cover some NHL at the end because the playoffs are starting. Don't really follow the NHL much. But either way, fighting: Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, scheduled for August 5th in Dallas at the American Airlines Center. Okay, this is not surprising. I mean, I can't say surprising. It will be developing contested at 185 pounds and is contracted for 8 rounds with 12-ounce gloves. Jake Paul still fighting 8 rounds. We saw Jake Paul lose to Tommy Fury, and it was a close fight. Impressive performance by Jake Paul. I mean, Tommy Fury is a real boxer. He didn't get knocked out. He didn't get stopped. It was a close decision, even though everybody believed Tommy Fury did win, but it was still close. It was still close. Jake Paul is a real fighter now. Like I get it, he's a YouTuber. His first 2-3 bouts, you could say oh, he's just a YouTuber, but he's a real fighter now. He's legit. Nate Diaz. I mean, everyone's saying, "Oh, Nate Diaz is gonna knock him, beat him up, eat him apart, tear him apart." If Tyron Woodley couldn't do that twice, and Anderson Silva couldn't do that, I don't think Nate Diaz is gonna do that. Nate Diaz was a good known striker in the UFC. But this is his first ever boxing match. We saw Anderson Silva. He had boxing matches before. He beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He had boxing matches before. And Anderson Silva was a way better UFC fighter than Nate Diaz was. Now, I like Nate Diaz. What's gonna happen? What I can guarantee is Jake Paul will not knock out. He will not. Jake Diaz. I'm sorry, I have tongue twisters. Jake Paul will not knock out Nate Diaz. I guarantee you that. Gas tank in Diaz, the chin in Diaz. He's going to bleed a lot. We saw that in the UFC. He's going to bleed a lot, but Jake Paul will not stop Nate Diaz. He might win. He might just simply outbox him, but he will not stop Nate Diaz. I guarantee you that. Now, obviously, Nate Diaz is a professional fighter. He's been fighting 15 years in the UFC. A very famous fighter, not a champion. He defeated Conor McGregor, defeated Tony Ferguson in his last fight in the UFC. But anything can go. I'm not. It's hard to pick right now who's going to win because once again, Nate Diaz, a legendary UFC fighter, been fighting for years, known to be a good striker, and then Jake Paul, who has been taking it serious. So I don't know. This fight could really go either way, but don't be jumping on the gun saying that Nate Diaz is going to tear Jake Paul apart. If Woodley couldn't do it twice, if Anderson Silva couldn't do it, and Tommy Fury couldn't stop him, Nate Diaz is not going to stop him. Now, of course, all it takes is one punch. But, I assume Jake Paul and his team are going to train the next couple of months hard to not be able to get knocked out by that one punch. So, that's all I really have to say. I respect Jake Paul coming back from a loss. That builds it. You got to learn how to take a loss. The only person that never knew how to take a loss was guys like, of course, Floyd Mayweather, Joe Calzaghe, Rocky Marciano, but very, very small few fighters take a loss. So trust me, it builds character. Obviously, I'm sure Canelo, his loss after Floyd Mayweather, he just became unstoppable for a while. Triple G happened in the jaw. ends up going undisputed in the super middleweight division, lost to Bivol. I'm sure he's going to come back, destroy John Ryder, and then still, retain his belts in the super middleweight division, and still once again maybe bump up and maybe defeat Bivol. Who knows? I doubt it. But either way, I'm saying a loss in any sport, it's good. It's good for a lot of people. And Jake Paul, maybe he needed it. Maybe he's going to be even better. I'm gonna root for him. I'm gonna root for him. Obviously, he gets a lot of hate because he's a YouTube star boxer, but he's trying. His work ethic is huge. He has a hard work ethic. So I'm willing to root for any guy, no matter who you are, no matter what background you came from. If you have a hard work ethic like that, you're gonna take boxing serious. I'm gonna root for you. So I don't know. I would say I don't know how this is gonna go. The event will be a 50-50 collaboration. This is off ESPN website between Paul Most Valuable Promotions and Diaz's Real Fight Corporations. So 50-50 split. I think it's fair. So I don't know. I think it's also going to be 50-50 though in the ring because, like I said, Jake Paul in boxing, taking it serious, but Nate Diaz is Nate Diaz. So that's all I have for that fight. That's August 5th in Dallas. So I want to cover some NHL. I don't really watch. I really haven't watched barely any of it. I remember I watched not Golovkin. Speaking of boxing, Ovechkin versus Sidney Crosby match a couple of weeks ago. It was like the star match or whatever. I was watching a bit of that. I'm a Penguins fan, but I really don't pay attention much. I know they are eliminated tonight. I guess there's two matchups. I guess these are just the last two matchups of the regular season. Buffalo at Columbus and then Colorado at Nashville. No game Saturday, no game Sunday. Then Monday, April 17th. In the first round, we have LA versus Edmonton, Florida at Boston, New York at Carolina, to be determined at Dallas. So why to be determined? Oh, maybe they get buys. I really don't know how the playoff schedule works. Tuesday, we have Winnipeg at Vegas, Tampa Bay at Toronto, New York at New Jersey, to be determined at Colorado. Wednesday, we have Los Angeles at Edmonton, Florida at Boston, New York at Carolina, to be determined at Dallas. Okay, so yeah, basically the same matchups. But either way, that's all I have for the NHL. That's all I have for the Big Donch Show. Once again, sorry for the allergies. I apologize. We'll be all right next time, though. Hopefully my allergies are better. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to like my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube, Big Donch. Like the podcast, The Big Donch Show on Spotify. Follow me on Instagram, Big Donch. Come on, guys. Peace.